Good morning, everybody. My name is Mary Frances, and I am one of Henry Junwali's students. If you caught my little chat message earlier, Henry is out filming his gorgeous videos, so he was not able to make it back for the start of class, but he will definitely be here tomorrow for Social Sunday and Monday for our continuation of TCM theory. So today, it being Saturday, we are working on the Basic 8, which is our new series. We've run through 3 of the exercises so far, and we're going to do that for the first part, for the first 30 minutes, and then we'll close. And if you have to check out and do the rest of your Saturday, then that's great. If you want to stick around, we've got 15 extra minutes of a new exercise. Today, it's going to be the Spleen and Stomach exercise. I think it's a lot of fun. I may be biased. And so we are gonna go ahead and start. So let's start out with our warm-ups. We're gonna start out with that circular breathing. That is the classic start to the golden Basic 8, Golden 8, and Basic 8 are 2 different series. So the circular breathing is the beginning, classically, of the Basic 8. So we're going to start out with that. Let's go ahead and open up. We're opening up so our feet are parallel. The toes are not pointed out. That compresses the channels in the back and opens the channels in the front. And they're not pointing in because that compresses the channels in the front while opening up the channels in the back. For this start, we want them open evenly. We're going to settle into the space using the mind's eye, the mind intent, bringing our awareness to the bottoms of the feet, letting them melt into the earth. Softening the knees, relaxing the low back, relaxing the shoulders, and then allowing the arms to come out just a little bit from the torso, creating a little bit of space underneath the arms, underneath the shoulders and the armpit area. This allows for greater freedom of chi circulation. Softening the jaw. The tip of the tongue is elevating to the roof of the mouth, connecting the Ren channel and the Du channel, the conception vessel, as well as the governing vessel. And then we're allowing the very top of the head to reach up into the sky. Finally, we're going to close the eyes and breathing in and out through the nose. We're going to inhale, guiding the breath to the lower dantian. That's that area 3 to 4 finger breaths beneath the belly button. Exhaling down to the perineum. That's the lowest point of the torso. Inhaling up to the big spine point, where the cervical spine meets the thoracic spine. And then exhaling to the palms of the hands. Repeating this route, inhaling to the lower dantian. Exhaling down to the perineum. Inhaling up to the big spine point at the back of the neck of the body. And then exhaling to the palms of the hands. Inhaling, lower dantian. Exhaling perineum. Inhaling up to the big spine point. And then exhaling to the palms. Continuing on with this circular breathing at your own pace. Allowing the breath to be full and relaxed. Allowing the mind to relax into the breath. Allowing the breath to relax the body. And allowing the chi to flow in a circular route. Helping facilitate communication between the organ systems. Between the upper and lower aspects of the body. Between the front and the back of the body. We're going to keep going for just a few more circuits of breathing. Once again, at your own pace, allowing the breath to be as relaxed as possible. And if you notice any tissues, any areas tightening up, say the jaw or the shoulders, go ahead and allow those tissues to soften. Getting ready to finish up. When you're ready, gently opening the eyes. And closing by bringing that left foot back to the right. So many of our medical Qigong exercises that we have been practicing are more moving meditation exercises. That's an example of one of the more still medical Qigong exercises. And theoretically, that could be your entire practice. So you could hold that for, 20 to 30 minutes and get a really great practice. But moving on, let's go ahead and start our basic 8 exercises. We're starting with the lung and large intestine. We're opening up. The feet are going to be parallel. Rolling the shoulders forward so we can bring the backs of the hands together. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. Just so you know, you don't have to keep changing positions. I'm doing it so you can see the different aspects. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. And out. One more time, inhaling. And exhaling. Returning. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. Out. Inhaling. And exhaling. Okay, at your own pace now, allowing your breath to guide the rate of the movement. About one more time. And closing or getting ready to close. Next, we're working on our heart and small intestine exercise. Gathering our claws in front of the lower dantian. Inhaling. Flipping the feet and hands out. Exhaling. Back to the start. In. And out. Enjoying the contrast between the strong claws, while at the same time keeping the breath and the rest of the body nice and relaxed. And about one more time. Releasing the claws and closing, bringing that left foot back to the right. We're working on our Sanjiao exercise now. Keeping the feet together. Inhaling as we guide the palms facing up underneath the shoulders. Exhaling fully. Inhaling. And exhaling. In. And out. Allowing the breath to be an expression, the movement. Allowing the movement to be an expression of the breath. And about one more time. Now we're going to do about one more time on each side. Closing. Keeping the feet together. We're going to bring the palms together, transferring some of that wonderful chi that you've been cultivating over the past 20 some minutes or so. 25. We're going to wash the face. Our number is going to be 9. Try to add in a little bit of pressure as you're doing these exercises for the face, but not so much that you're causing any type of pain. Pain is not your friend. Okay, 9 times washing the face, really getting into the tissues. And then wiping the brow 9 times, above and below. Once again, feeling free to add in a little bit of pressure. Up and down the nose. And then our circles, lower, middle, upper aspects, 9 in, 9 out. Imagining just underneath the pupils at the cheekbone, in and out 9 times. And then dredging the channels of the scalp using all the fingertips. Beating the drum. Grasping the ears using all the fingertips. Do not use a lot of pressure for this next exercise, popping the cork 9 times. One fingertip on the philtrum, the other the mandibular crease, inward, outward. And then massaging the jaw 9 times each side, encompassing the entirety of the jaw. And trying to keep the musculature of the jaw relaxed. I have lost count. So after 9 times or about that, our number is going to change to 12 times total, or 6 times each side. We're now drawing the energy from the head and the face down into the torso. Continuing on down the breastbone. And then we're placing our palms at the lower dantian, circling up the right and down the left, drawing all that wonderful energy that we've been cultivating to the lower dantian. And after 9 circles, we're going to switch directions, concentrating that energy, caramelizing that energy. And then after 9 times, pausing at the lower dantian, closing the eyes. Inhaling through the nose, we're guiding the breath in the chi to the lower dantian, allowing it to fill up with energy. Exhaling, we're allowing that energy to settle and store so that it may be used throughout the rest of your day. Inhaling, guiding the breath in the chi to the lower dantian, filling it up with energy. Exhaling, allowing that energy to settle and store. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allowing the mind to relax. Allowing the body to relax. And allowing the chi to settle and store. Thank you so very much for practicing on this Saturday morning, for waking up to take the time to practice with us. It is so very, very appreciated. Okay, if you want to stick around, we're going to go over the spleen and stomach exercise for the basic 8. So I don't know how visible these taped lines are on the floor. They're not absolutely necessary, so if you don't see them, then that's okay. We're going to go over this exercise in a couple of different ways. We're going to go over the mechanics in 2 or 3 different ways first, and then we're going to add in the breath. Okay, so it's going to be like little bits, little building blocks, adding up to a castle with turrets. All right, so we're going to first start out with our feet together. We're going to sink at the knees, and then very similar to the Sanjiao exercise, we're opening the left, so that means that we're going to step back with the right. Okay, and I'm going to try to mirror you. So Our feet are together, we sink at the knees, and then we're gonna take our right foot and step back about 45 degrees or less. Now, when I say less, we don't want it straight back. 45 degrees or maybe 30 degrees. Okay, so we're bending our knees, we're stepping back about 45 to 30 degrees, and the rear foot is still going to be angled a little bit towards the front. So it's not perfectly parallel. It's about also at 45 degrees, okay? But I fit more 30, 60, depending on your point of view, okay? You don't want to point the foot back and the toes back. I used to, several years ago, I used to teach that as a modification in case your knees were unhappy, to open up the foot a little more at like 90 degrees to help take some pressure off the knee. But remember when we talked about the feet being parallel at the beginning of the class, keeping the channels open evenly in the front and the back? In this case, if you notice, you can play around with it. When you step back, the difference in the way the channels and the mechanics of the leg, the structure of the leg is working, there is a big difference between the toes pointing out, say, 30, 60 degrees, or 30 and 60 degrees the other way, right? This is more open. This is a little bit more closed. We want a little bit more closed. So if this is a problematic stance for you, what I would suggest first is maybe shortening the stance, okay? That's perfectly reasonable. Just shorten the stance. You can step back as far as you want, as long as it's within your body's comfort zone. Okay, so I know I'm talking about this a lot, but the foundation of the legs really does help out for the rest of the exercise. So we're sinking at the knees. We're going to step back about 45 to 30 degrees. The toes are pointed out just a little bit. And then we're going to sink at the knee a little bit. I have to open it a bit. Sinking at the knee. And then that's it. Go ahead and now come back to the original position. What we're going to do is transfer the weight now onto the lead leg. The rear leg, the big toe, is going to drag across the floor to come back up. Okay, let's go in the opposite direction now. So we're sinking at the knees. We're stepping back now with the left foot to open up the right side of the body. Sinking, putting more weight on that rear leg. So the lead leg is relatively straight and the back leg is bent. Now, we've talked about this before. You don't want your knee crashing in and you don't want the knee crashing out. You want it to go relatively straight over the toes. Then we're going to transfer the weight back to the lead leg, taking the rear leg, dragging that big toe in a circular motion back up to its other foot. Okay, so let's go one on each side, sinking at the knees, stepping back about 45, 30 degrees, transitioning the weight to the rear leg, trying to get the knee to point over the foot instead of crashing in or crashing out, and then transferring the weight back to the lead leg, circling that big toe back to the center. Sinking at the knee, stepping out now with the right, transferring the weight, left. Stepping out with the left, transferring the weight onto the rear leg, coming back to the center, and back up. Okay, so on your own, just play around with that. Transitioning the weight, maybe taking a moment to transition the weight back and forth. Coming back up to the center, switching directions, transferring the weight, and coming up to the center. Now we're going to go, if you haven't already done so, just back to the right and then back to the left. Sinking, stepping back to the right, and sinking, stepping back to the left. Good. The next part, we're going to add in the upper body. Super easy. It's going to be an archer form. So to start out with, we're going to take The left hand is going to be flat, and the right hand is going to be in a somewhat loose fist, but still a fist with the palm of the fist facing the breastbone, okay? And in this fist, the thumb is on the outside, okay? So we curl our hands, fist, thumb is on the outside, the palm facing the breastbone, left hand flat. Sinking at the knees, stepping back just like we did before, transitioning the weight to the rear leg, and then we're going to take our torso and bend it back, and then open up in our archer position. So our rear hand is in that claw, whereas our lead hand pushes out flat. Okay? Now, theoretically, you don't want your upper body leaning forward, and you don't want your upper body leaning back. You want it fairly neutral. And then your angle is angling up somewhat. But once again, it's whatever is comfortable for you. What you don't want this to be obviously pointing down, or if you can, don't do it neutrally unless you need to for modification. You do want it up. And then to come back, the palm repositions itself. And then we bring the foot and the hand back together to the center, switching, sinking, stepping back now with the left, transitioning the weight first, the torso angles back, and you open up in that archer. The gaze is at the tip of the middle finger. And then we reposition by letting that right hand come back to the center, taking the claw, putting it into the fist, and bringing it back with the foot. Switching, sinking, stepping back, transitioning the weight and the torso, opening up, repositioning, coming back, switching, stepping back, opening, repositioning, coming back. Okay. All right, so now we're going to add in the breath. When we begin, we're on an empty breath, okay? So we inhale, and then fully exhale. And then there's some lag time before we get to breathe again. So we sink down, step back, position the body and the torso, and then once you start opening that arch, you get to inhale. So wonderful. And then as you come back to the position, to the start, you exhale. Switching positions, sinking. Remember, we just ended on an exhale. Now we get to inhale. And then exhale as we reposition. Switching down, step, position, inhale, and exhale. Now the modification is when we're here at the center, we take an extra breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Ooh, switching down, step back, inhale, exhale, taking an extra inhale, exhale fully, and then switch, sink, step, inhale, exhale. We take our extra inhale and exhaling with this position. Once you finish the extra exhale, then we get to switch the hands and jump right in. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling, switching. Inhaling, exhaling, in, out, switch, inhaling, Exhaling. Switch. Inhaling. Exhaling. In. Out. Switch. Inhaling. Exhaling. And release. Okay, so we've got the two ways you can do it. One with the extra breath in the middle, and I wasn't super clear when I first started out with the extra breath, but you do take the extra breath with the side that you've just finished on. Meaning, if I just finished opening up to the left, then I would stay in this hand position until I'm done with my extra breath before then going to the right. The other way to do it, the classic way, is just without the extra breath. It's really up to you. People like it different ways. Some people feel like the modification is more intrusive or disruptive to the exercise. Some people feel like it really allows them to regroup and to stay more relaxed throughout the exercise. And remember, even though there is some tension with the retention of not breathing, you don't want to feel like you're about to pass out. You don't want to feel like you're gasping for air. You don't want to feel like you're coming through. So really, really super fast, because this exercise takes a lot more time. But we've got, this is the spleen and stomach exercise of the basic 8. We've got our food and water that enter into the stomach from the mouth and esophagus and all that good stuff. And then the stomach and the spleen work together. They're the root of the postnatal or post-heaven chi. So we get our pre-heaven chi, that's located more in the kidneys. This is our postnatal chi. So, I mean, obviously food and water are very, very important for us to be able to supplement that chi that we've already been gifted with. So the spleen and the stomach take the chi, and then the spleen takes the clear and ascends it to the heart as well as the lungs. We talked about that last week. But the heart takes that chi and helps make blood, which obviously is quite helpful. So the spleen ascends and the stomach descends. It takes down the turbid. And that's how the middle jiao, that's how the middle jiao chi mechanism works. Spleen going up, stomach going down. An example of this misbehaving is when you get nauseous, and that's when the stomach chi is rebelling and going up. We don't like that. We want it going down. So food and water, very, very important. One quick other thing that's kind of neat is that the stomach channel, the yang ming channel of the foot, is the only yang channel that passes through the front of the body, meaning the actual torso. The other ones go either to the side or in the back of the body. And then our gaze is at the tip of the middle finger, which is the pericardium channel. Okay, so we're running out of time, and I apologize for that. Let's go ahead and do 3 more on each side. I'm not going to take the extra breath. I'm just going to go from side to side. You go at your own rate. Okay, so we're starting with the feet together. We're opening up to the left, so the left hand is flat. The right hand is in a fist. We're inhaling, exhaling fully. Inhaling. Exhaling. In and out. Continuing on at your own pace. and then closing. We're going to do a short closing, just bringing the palms together, transferring some of that chi to the palms so that we can then transfer it to the lower dantian, closing the eyes, inhaling and exhaling at your own pace, guiding the breath and the chi to the lower dantian. Allowing it to fill up with energy, allowing that energy to settle and store. And taking 3 to 5 breaths at your own pace. Relaxing the mind into the breath, allowing the breath to relax the body, and allowing the chi to settle and store. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the spleen stomach exercise.